In today's class, we will learn how to factorize a cubic polynomial. The same method can be extended for polynomial of any degree more than 3 as well. Let's say you have a polynomial of degree 4 or 5. So the same method can be used to factorize the polynomial of any higher degree as well. So here factorizing a cubic polynomial will be employing a combination of methods. Will be using splitting the middle term method, or you may say will be using long division method for that matter. Along with these two, will also be using factor theorem, which we have recently studied. Right, so why factor theorem? Because by using factor theorem we will determine the first factor, or let's say factor theorem will help us in getting first zero of this polynomial, and then we will proceed with division. So what basically you have to do is I'll just move to this. Can you see this constant term minus 120 over here? So we'll start with listing the factors. What we will do is we'll list the factors of this. If I have to list out these factors of 120, what it will be? It will be plus minus 1, plus minus 2, plus minus 4, and a long list of factors, isn't it? Even plus minus 5, plus minus 10, plus minus 12, plus minus 6 also, plus minus 3 also is a factor of this. So out of all is the factor of 120. So out of all these, we'll start with this either plus 1 or minus 1. And what we'll do is we'll try to infuse this value in this polynomial, and let's see if the polynomial terminates to 0. Right, so here what I'm doing is we are starting with p of 1. So we'll replace all the x by 1. So it will become 1 cubed minus 23 times 1 squared, 142 times 1, and minus 120. So if we'll simplify this, what will we get? We'll get 1 minus 23 plus 142 minus 120. Now if just have a look at these 142 and 1, this will become plus 143, and if you just look at these two, what it will become? Minus 143. Yes, so p of 1, can I say that p of 1 is 0? Now the moment I say p of 1 is 0, it means I can declare here that therefore x minus 1 is a factor. Always remember, by factor theorem, by trial and error, if you place any value in the polynomial and the entire polynomial terminates to 0, that means that value of the variable is the 0 of the polynomial, and factors are always formed with opposite sign of the zeros. Do remember this, that if 1 is the 0, then factor will be x minus 1. If minus 1 is the 0, factor will be x plus 1. Right, so now what will, okay, we got to know one factor. What to do next? So what we'll be doing is, supposing if I say that 2 is a factor of 8, what does it mean? That if you divide 8 by 2, your remainder should be 0. So this is what we'll be doing here, because now I know that x minus 1 is the factor of my px. So what I'll do here basically is I'm going to divide my p of x, which is x cubed minus 23 times x squared plus 142 times x minus 120 by this factor x minus 1 over here. Okay, I think I need to move it down a bit, otherwise the work will look really congested. Let's try it again. So what we'll do is we'll divide this p of x, which is x cubed minus 23 times x square plus 142 times x. Same, you also have to take care that your work should look presentable enough. it should not look messed up. Okay, so what we'll be doing now is we'll divide this p of x by x minus 1. So let's see what we have to do basically in division. You have to just look at the first term in your dividend and the first term in your divisor. We'll move to rough work over here. Sorry. You have to divide the first term in your dividend by first term in your divisor. And if you divide, what will you get? You will get x squared. So that's the first term in your quotient. So we got to know that, okay, x squared is the first term in my quotient. What next? What I'm supposed to do next? So what we have to do is, now you have to multiply all the terms in your divisor by this quotient. So if you multiply x squared by x, what will you get? You will get x cubed. And if you multiply minus 1 by x square, what will you get? Minus x square. Always remember, you have to write the like terms one under the other, like cubed under cubed, squared under squared. And when like if I ask that, okay, you have to divide 9 by 2, so you know that it's 4 times, and what will you do after this? You'll subtract, isn't it? And you get to know the remainder. Same you have to do here. You have to subtract, and for subtracting the polynomials, as we know, the signs will be changed. This x cubed is positive, so will become negative. The x squared is negative, so will become positive. And here, this can be cancelled. Positive x cubed and negative x cubed is cancelled. In division, this will always happen, that the first term will always cancel. If it is not, we are doing something wrong, right? And minus 23 x squared plus x squared will give us minus 22 x squared. This 142 comes down here, and plus 142 times x. What to do next is, it's the same procedure again what we did here, that you have to divide the first term. Here is minus 22x, so you will divide the first term, which is minus 22 times x squared, by the first term in your divisor, which is x. What will you get? You will get minus 22 times x. And what's next? Yes, you are right. I'll just erase this from here. Okay, and now you have to multiply both the terms in the divisor with this new term which you have thought of. So when you multiply 22 times x with x, you will get minus 22 times x squared, and when you multiply this minus 1 by this, you will get plus 22 times x. What's next? It's again we have to subtract. In subtraction, we know that we have to change the sign. Positive term will become negative, and negative term will become positive, and the first one, as I said earlier, will always get neutralized. So now it's plus 142 times x minus 22 times x, will be left with 120 times x, and now this minus 120 comes down. So now when this minus 120 comes down, what next? What's next? We'll be again doing the same. The first term, here it is 120 times, it's 120 times x to be divided by x. What will you get? Right, we will get plus 120. Again, it's the same procedure follows. I'll just erase these arrows from here, okay, so that we can make the fresh ones. So this x multiplied by 120, what will you get? 120 times x, right? And this minus 1 multiplied by 120, you will get minus 120. Yes, you are right. We'll do the subtraction again, and the signs will be changed. Positive term will become negative, and yes, all the terms cancelled, and here we are left with 0 is the remainder. See, because we have already declared that this x minus 1 is a factor of p of x, and if you are not getting remainder as 0, that means you should get to know you are doing something wrong, right? So we have to, I'm just erasing these, all these arrows and all, so that, okay, that was just for our understanding. Alright, so if you are not getting 0 as your remainder, that means you should get to know that you are doing something wrong. So as long as we are getting 0 as the remainder, we can be rest assured that our work is all right. And now what we have to do, is that all done? No, it's not complete yet. So now see, if I say that that 2 is a factor of 8 and 2 divides 8 4 times, and you get 4 as the quotient, how will you write? You will write 2 times 4 equals 8, isn't it? Same logic you have to apply here, that when I say that my p of x is divisible by x minus 1, now can I say, is it fair enough to write that my p of x is divisible by x minus 1, that 2 x squared minus 22 of x plus 120 times, right? So now what we'll be doing is, we'll be factorizing this quadratic polynomial over here by using splitting the middle term method. So let's see how to factorize it. I'm sure you all know this for sure, that this x minus 1 will remain as it is. We'll split down this in factor as x squared minus 12 times x minus 10 times x plus 120. What we did is, if you'll notice, you'll get to know that we splitted this middle term minus 22 into minus 12 and minus 10, and when you multiply these two, minus 12 by minus 10, you will get 120, right? So that's what splitting the middle term is. This is what we are supposed to do. What we are supposed to do in splitting the middle term, that you have to split the resolve the last term, the constant number, into factors, so as to fetch you on addition and subtraction you should get the middle term. So now we'll make groups, we'll make pairs, and from each pair there will be something common. From the first pair, if I take x as common, I'll be left with x minus 12. From the second pair, when I take minus 10 as common, it's x minus 12 will be left inside. And here you should remember that because we have taken minus sign outside over, here, this inside sign will be changed from plus to minus. So that has to be taken care of. The signs needs to be taken care of. So what it will be, now can I take x minus 12 common as a whole? So if I take x minus 12 common as a whole, what I'll be left with? X minus 10. So these are the factors indeed. That's what our task was, to resolve p of x into factors, and we are done with it. Just have a quick look at it again. What we did is, let's see the entire method. What we did here is, I'm just reducing the size of the screen. I hope it's visible, so that we can just solve it at once. That we started with this p of x. We use trial and error method, indeed factor theorem method, to get one factor. How to start trial and error with is this, with this constant term minus 120. We'll look into the factors of minus 120, and we started with plus 1, and luckily we got it. What if we didn't get like p of 1 is not 0? In that case, we'll try with p of minus 1 then. If that is also not 0, we'll try with p of 2 and then p of minus 2. Right, but then intuitively you will get to know that okay, p of 1 is 0 or p of minus 1 is 0. So by looking at the polynomial, we can just do some quick mental basic calculations, and we will intuitively will get to know. You don't have to go for trial and error so many times, you'll get to know, right? So then what we'll be doing is, what we have done, once we got 1 0 of p of x, we divided p of x by that, we declared that x minus 1 is a factor since 1 is the 0, and we divided p of x by this factor x minus 1. We get the quadratic polynomial here, and then we resolve this quadratic polynomial into factors by splitting the middle term method, right? And ultimately we got to know that x minus 1, x minus 12 and x minus 10 are the zeros of p of x. When I say this, what does it mean? We can always infuse the values and we can just check over here. Right, we can check over here that if you place in this p of x, if you place p of 1, we have already checked. If you place if you find out p of 12, if you replace x by 12, you will get 0. Same as if you find out p of 10, this will also be 0, and p of 1 we have already checked that it is 0. So that means 1, 10 and 12 are the zeros of this polynomial p of x, and in turn x minus 12, x minus 1 and x minus 10 is, we have said here, are the factors of p of x. So I hope you have understood this factorization. Yes, there is another way to go for, though it is bit lengthy but not difficult, there is another way to go for, instead of this portion here, what we did by long division, we can again go for splitting the middle term. We'll discuss in the next video how to go about splitting the middle term for, once we find out one factor, how to go for splitting the middle term. That's all for this class. Hope this helps.